I was born ready. Canelo Alvarez says he's upset with the fans, upset that he got stripped by the IBF of his middleweight title. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Let's jump right into it. Canelo Alvarez verified page. He had a message for fans, and you'll see it on the screen. He says, I'm very upset and ashamed with my fans to be unfairly stripped of my belt by the IBF, but especially when I did not have the knowledge of the agreement that Golden Boy Promotions matchmaker had signed. So first things first, using his words, this was not a Google Translate. This is whoever posted this on Canelo's verified page. This is what they put. So I didn't like translate it from Spanish to English or anything. And this first stanza, I'm very upset and ashamed with my fans. I don't understand it. I don't understand what we didn't strip you. So why would Canelo be ashamed with his fans? That doesn't really make sense to me. We didn't do this to you. And then furthermore, this is almost an oxymoron, what he says next, to be unfairly stripped of my belt by the IBF. So, you know, he's making it sound like this was unfair treatment. But then he says, but especially when I did not have the knowledge of the agreement that Golden Boy's matchmaker had signed. So, you know, it looks like he might be at odds with Golden Boy, or somebody dropped the ball somewhere. He said Golden Boy's matchmaker, so I'm assuming, I don't know, Robert Diaz or something, right? And he said, I didn't know about this. So how is it unfair treatment when it sounds like inner turmoil? It sounds like something your team should have advised you of any type of agreement that they signed, and like impending like deadlines or whatever. So I don't understand that. I'm just seeing what the fans are saying. Canelo's ashamed of us. That's what I'm saying. I don't get that part. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I suspect he dropped some kind of bomb. What about the WBC stripping you? Yeah, it's just, you know, bottom line is, oh, wow. This is not a good look for DAZN, because they got a lot of stuff between Eddie Hearn, what's taking so long with Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, the Dillian White shit show with the PEDs. Golovkin's probably going to have to fight Derevyanchenko, not going to get the Canelo Triple G fight next that they wanted. Canelo seems to be like throwing the Golden Boy Promotions matchmaker under the bus. You know, this just looks like a mess. He got stripped of 2 belts in, you know, he got stripped of 2 belts in 2-3 months. The WBC, you know, they try to disguise it as the franchise title. This is just a bad look, people. This is a really bad look to me for DAZN and Canelo. But just to give you guys more clarification, like De La Hoya kind of sent out a press release angry also at the IBF and said it's unfair treatment, but it's really not. And I kind of discussed it in my live stream. Canelo had opportunity and ample time to facilitate the fight with Derevyanchenko, his mandatory. He knew beating Jacobs, he knew his mandatory. But if you look at Canelo's, his actual social media, look, June 1st, this is after the Jacobs fight. He's posting a selfie. You know, he's in Monaco or wherever. You know, he's on vacation looking at watches. Look, right here, he said he's at the Forum in Monaco. This is May 25th. This is all after his fight with Jacobs. And does it look like he's bothered? Does it look like he's worried? Monaco, Canelo, he looks like he's just chilling. So if you're chilling on vacation, you know you want the Mexican dates, Cinco de Mayo weekend in May, and you fought then, and you know you want to fight September, then it's up to your team to facilitate these things and run your options, you know, appease the zone and follow guidelines and deadlines. So to me, this is more of an issue. Canelo's and Golden Boy are trying to make it like there was some foul play. The IBF is simply enforcing and following their rules, and I commend them for it. because Canelo shouldn't be above rules because he's the massive side and the massive star in boxing. He still has to follow rules like everybody else. And the IBF, to their credit, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they've been consistent. They stripped Tyson Fury because I guess he was gonna. I don't agree with that one, but he was gonna fight Klitschko in a rematch instead of fighting his mandatory, I think, Charles Martin. So they stripped him because he was going to fight Klitschko, but that never happened because he failed a drug test. But that's beside the point. So Charles Martin and Glasgow fought for the title, and then Charles Martin lost it to AJ, right? Triple G was supposed to fight Derevyanchenko last year after Canelo failed a drug test with clenbuterol, and Triple G decided to keep fighting on that Cinco de Mayo date. Triple G fought Vanes Martirosyan instead of Derevyanchenko. Then he pursued Canelo instead of fighting his mandatory. So before the Canelo 2 fight, he got stripped because he had 90 days after the Vanes Martirosyan fight, I think, 90 days to get in contact and negotiate a deal with Derevyanchenko. He had no intentions of doing that because he was pursuing and stalking Canelo. So the IBF is just following their rules. And look, Mike Coppinger said the same thing, which is what I told you guys in my live stream. IBF rules plainly laid out. Order to fight between Canelo and Derevyanchenko. Golden Boy Promotions didn't ask for an exception. The purse bid got ordered. There was no deal by the deadline, and both sides agreed to a side deal where Canelo would be stripped if there was no deal by the deadline. And it got extended 3 times. Still no deal, so he got stripped. You know, Golden Boy and Canelo, they can make it out to look like it's foul play or the IBF is questionable out to get him, but they're not. This got extended. He was supposed to get stripped before he got stripped, but he said he was in contact with Derevyanchenko. Rules are rules. Golden Boy didn't follow it. But this is what it looks like Canelo's talking about. Both sides agreed to a side deal where Canelo would be stripped if there was no deal by the deadline. So again, this sounds like a miscommunication in between the Golden Boy family, because Canelo's saying, especially when I didn't know of any deal. So Canelo, you know, he might not have wanted to give Derevyanchenko a certain amount of money, thinking he had time and thinking he had leverage. But Golden Boy signed this deal that, hey, if there was no deal in place by said date, you're getting stripped. So, you know, it sounds like Golden Boy and Team Canelo had their wires crossed. The IBF didn't do anything wrong. They did exactly what they're supposed to be doing. My commentator also said you can disagree with the IBF rankings, but they follow their own rules. You can't ask for an exemption or an exception after the purse bid is already ordered. And you certainly can't do it after the deadline for your side deal expires. Look, someone said, so basically the IBF can't be bought out like WBC. So yeah, I mean, I don't even understand why Canelo's team is trying to make it look like the IBF did something wrong or lost credibility. If anything, you gain credibility by doing what you have listed in your rule book. You know, by following your rules, that actually makes you look more legit. Canelo is not above that. So to me, this was poor planning and execution by Canelo and DAZN, and it shows you that there's some inner turmoil going on where there's different agendas. You know, Canelo's team, I think, were interested in fighting Jaime Munguia, but I don't think DAZN wanted that. They wanted him to fight Kovalev or Triple G. So it doesn't sound like a lot of people are on the same page, and you can't blame anyone else but internally. And Canelo needs to be more hands-on. If he feels his team is not representing him and getting certain things facilitated, then he needs to be more hands-on or reappoint people managing his career, you know, because he looks bad right here in this situation. He really does. He really looks bad because, you know, it didn't have to be this. Now they're saying he might fight against Demetrius Andrade, but if he fights Andrade now, it's not going to be for undisputed. So what's the point? You know, it's still a good fight, but why wouldn't we want to see Canelo? He's down to 1 belt. You know, the WBC, he basically got stripped of that in the IBF. And then Andrade has the WBO. So this is very bad, poor execution by Canelo's team. You know, he's sitting up here lamping, it looks like, and on vacation. And meanwhile, certain things aren't getting done on the business side. Deadlines aren't being met and being blown off. And then you're mad at the IBF as if they did something wrong. And then you're throwing the Golden Boy matchmaker under the bus for signing some deal I guess you didn't know about. So It doesn't sound like unfair treatment. It sounds like a communication issue on Team Canelo and Golden Boy. So they're going to have to figure that out. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.